Hi, Mr. Awadala. This is Danielle Robertson from your biology class, section I-4, and I'm going to be dissecting for you today the sheep's brain. And while I'm doing so, I'm going to be naming for you the parts that you requested on page 449 and page 439. Alright, let's get started. This here is the sheep brain, of course, and this thick, kind of like covering over it, is the cortex of the sheep brain. And I'm going to cut that away in just a minute to give you a better showing of the sheep's brain. But before we do that, I just want to name for you the frontal lobe of the sheep brain. This is the frontal lobe of the sheep brain at an anterior view here. But this is the frontal lobe. And from a superior view, which would be on top of the brain, is what I'm showing you, a superior view, we have the parietal lobes on either side of the brain. Next, I'm going to show you a lateral view of the brain from the side to show you the temporal lobe. And that is located on either side of the sheep brain, the temporal lobe. Next, I'm going to show you the occipital lobe, which is posterior of the sheep brain. This is the occipital lobe here of the sheep's brain. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut away this cortex covering here of the sheep's brain, which basically houses 70% of the brain cells. So I'm going to gently cut into it, and as you can see it, hopefully, let me pull it up with these forceps so you can actually see this covering. This is the covering here that I'm speaking about, that I'm going to cut away to give us a better view of the brain. There we go. It's actually a pretty tough covering, even though it's only a few millimeters thick here. There we go. Gives us a better view of the brain. Okay. Continue to cut away here. Be very careful about this. And this is that cortex covering I was telling you about. Thick, and it's still thick, and it really is durable. It really is tough. I'm pulling on it, and as you can see, that is it's fairly tough here. And I'm just gonna stick this here and finish cutting away the rest of this so that we can get a closer look. This stuff is covering the whole brain, and it's taken me a while to get it undone, and I just want to be careful that I don't mess up any of the following the structures here, the olfactory bulbs or anything of that nature here. Go ahead and cut on around. Get this off. and just put that there. Okay, so now we can see a better view of the sheep's brain. So from a superior view, which is looking here on top, we have the right and left hemispheres of the sheep's brain, and this line here, this is actually the longitudinal fissure here. The longitudinal fissure is here of the sheep's brain here. Alright, next I'm going to show you the sulci. And the sulci is, you know, the indentions, what looks like to be inside the fold. So these indentions here, like that's indented here, to be the sulci. And the dura would actually be the thicker folds on the superior view here. So these folds here would be the dura. And then you have the pre-central dura, which would be located right before the central sulcus. Okay? So the central sulcus would be located right up in here. And then you have the pre-central dura, and then you have the post-central dura, which is hence the name post of the back. Okay, so that is there. Next, we're going to show you the lateral fissure, and that lateral fissure, for me, it's kind of hard to tell, but looking at the pictures in our book on the page 449, it would show it on a lateral angle here. So that's what I'm guesstimating my lateral fissure to be. And then we have the cerebellum is here. And again, this thick covering is here, and I'm going to try to peel it away again so that we can get a better view of it. It is time consuming, and I know we don't have that much time because these videos eat up a lot of time when you're trying to post them. But I'm going to go ahead and attempt to pull this away here so that we can get a better view of the cerebellum. And as you can see, it's starting to shine through here. There we go. And there it is. So there's the cerebellum here. So there's the cerebellum. This stuff is just so thick. But it's actually cool though doing this. Okay, so now that you can kind of see that, there's the cerebellum here from the brain here. Okay. Next we're going to go on, and I'm going to go ahead and dissect the brain itself. And in doing so, you can actually see a part of the cerebellum that's cut here. from the lateral view. So there's the cerebellum there. So as I continue to open up the brain here to give you a better view of it, I'm going to go ahead and identify for you the parts of the brain here. Again, the cerebellum is located here, and you can see parts of it here from the lateral view on both sides here of the brain. This actually shows a better view of that. Alright, next I'm going to show you the corpus callosum, which would be, get the right view, which would be this part up here, part of the corpus callosum. Also on this brain too, the corpus callosum. Okay, the thalamus gland would be located right up in here. This thalamus gland right up in here. Okay, and then the hypothalamus would be down below it. Okay, next we have the midbrain, which is this section here. And then we have the pons coming down off of it. Okay. And then we have the brain stem, which would be this part of the brain stem from this view. If I put these back together, this is the brain stem here. This is part of the brain stem. And if you go down on this side here, because it's showing me the longer view of the brain stem here, you have the medulla oblongata, which should be located there. And that is my dissection of the brain. Hopefully you were able to see it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.